Thank you very much, Ms. Pereira. Well, our next speaker, I think, is someone who you all know only too well, because Mr. Pereira has already given you an introduction to her, but as Compia, I need to give you a formal introduction. Well, she is a product of the Central Province Women's Chamber of Small Industry and Commerce, and Central Province Chamber of Commerce and Industry took over the presidency of the Federation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Sri Lanka, the apex body of the Sri Lanka Chamber Movement, at the 45th Annual General Membership Meeting held on the 6th of March, 2020. Well, this is the first time in the history of the Federation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry of Sri Lanka, which was established in 1973, that a woman entrepreneur takes over as presidency. As the president, and she takes over the presidency. Well, she has been a long-standing and well-known chamber activist in Sri Lanka and in South Asia, and she also serves as vice president of the South Asia Women's Development Forum Sri Lanka chapter in Nepal. She started her career as a businesswoman and formed Media Vision Private Limited that published Kandy News, the oldest regional newspaper in the island. And at present, she functions as chairperson of Algesect Trading Private Limited and Wisewell Lanka Private Limited, two global trading companies based in the United States of America. Well, she is also a social worker and holds the position of Deputy Cabinet Secretary of Lance International District 306C1, and she is a very active lion involved in social work. She is a member of the Institute of Management of Great Britain. Without further ado, I have the pleasure of inviting the President of the Federation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry of Sri Lanka. Everybody, put your hands together for Mrs. Shirley Jayawardena.
Thank you, Faisal, for your introduction. Aiboeva. Good evening. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, business leaders, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to address you today as the President of the Federation of Chamber of Commerce and Industries. As you are aware, we were compelled to postpone the Sri Lankan Entrepreneur of the Year award ceremony last year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. In the past 12 months, we as a country, our government and the business community have learned to cope with the pandemic to some extent and control it. The fact that we have gathered today for the ceremony is evidence that life is returning to some degree of normalcy. We have reached the point, partly thanks to the commendable discipline of the people who have adhered to basic public health rules such as wearing the mask and washing hands. From economic and business perspective, COVID-19 has had significant negative impact. In 2020, Sri Lanka's GDP growth rate is estimated to be negative 3.0%. That is not surprising. The tourist industry came to a virtuous stop. Remittance from Sri Lankan workers abroad declined, reducing domestic demand. Given the COVID-19 induced recession in Western markets are exposed to those countries also did not do too well. Import restrictions have also slowed down the economy. COVID-19 also revealed the strength and the weaknesses of our business sectors. On one hand, the weakness of sectors such as tourism that largely depend on foreign demand showed that excessive dependence on global markets has a downside. But it is also a fact for a small country such as ours that does not have a high-value commodity such as oil, the road to prosperity is through exports. That is where entrepreneurs like you have a vital role to play. We have gathered here today to celebrate your entrepreneurial creativity and willingness to take a risk. COVID-19 gave you that opportunity, and some of you used that with remarkable success. For example, you would have seen that some of the businesses, they changed their product lines. There were new opportunities that came in with the COVID, and entrepreneurs grabbed them, and they were very successful. So I very much hope that this positive experience will be carried forward. I will conclude my remarks stressing 2 points that are worth bearing in mind. First, the link that exists between small and medium enterprises who are affiliated with the FCCISA represents, and the large enterprise must always be borne in mind. Although this small, big distinction exists, in the real world, the two are organically bound together. Small and medium businesses service the large enterprises. The workers in large enterprises are consumer of goods and services that are from the SMEs. In other words, the two are interdependent. Today, a small business, tomorrow can be a giant. And for example, take Samsung, the Korean founder in 1938 started a very modest business, an export of vegetable and dry fish. I want to make the point that if an entrepreneur is innovative and take the correct direction, and if the country has correct condition, I mean, today a small business can be a giant tomorrow. The second, as I noted earlier, as a small country, we must rely on the global economy to accelerate growth and reach high income status. This is a huge challenge. Here is one example to illustrate my point. Colombo Port City is a multi-billion-dollar investment. One of the main goals of the port city is to make Colombo an international financial center. It is a desirable goal. But attracting financial institutions to operate from Colombo is a huge challenge. Global financiers and businesses must have confidence in our country to make the required long-term commitment and investments. The Global Financial Centers Index for 2020 lists the top 114 financial centers in the world. 27 of the 114 are in the Asia-Pacific region, of which 25 are in Southeast Asia and East Asia. Only 2, Mumbai, which is ranked 65, and Delhi ranked 80, are from South Asia. For sure, as South Asian economic grows, there's potential for growth as financial centers for cities such as Colombo. But we will have a big competition. We must be a stable, a dependable country to convince the rest of the world that their money is safe with us. In conclusion, I congratulate our winners and hope that they would serve as role models, especially for younger generation of entrepreneurs. Thank you for your time.